Hi, this is Dan Encell, Berkshire Hathaway. Today is Thursday, April 3rd. Lots to cover today, so I'm going to go briefly through the nationwide and Southern California headlines and then focus on both the quarterly first quarter of 2014 for Santa Barbara, South Coast, and then also the March stats from the MLS. So let's go through the headlines first. Fixed mortgage rates relatively flat. Mortgage rates right now for 30-year fixed are holding around 4.4%, up from about 3.5% a year ago. So they seem to be sort of holding their own right in that range there. Next headline. Vacation home sales surge in 2014. Investment property declines. As the economy's improved, we're seeing a significant increase, up about 29% of people buying vacation homes there. We're seeing a corresponding drop-off from investors into the real estate market. Investment sales are down about 8.5%. Makes sense. The investors jumped in when prices were rock bottom, and now that the prices have gone up and the affordability's gone down, they're sort of phasing out of the market there. So again, it makes sense. Next one. February existing home sales remain subdued. Relatively flat out there in terms of what's going on nationwide in terms of number of sales out there. In some of the eastern states, they're blaming it on weather and tight inventory, but that's, again, relatively flat number of sales there. Forward-looking, similar headline, February pending home sales continue to slide. Pending home sales down for 8 straight months there, meaning the market is sort of plateaued. It's not still having a lot of increased number of sales in the pipeline there. Again, not surprising, both between weather and getting rid of a lot of good buyers out there. Home prices dipped for 3rd straight months. Very, very slight, about 0.1% there for the last 3 months there. But again, clearly not still going up there. Seems like we've reached the peak and it's plateauing off nationwide, but very slowly there. Let's move to Southern California. Southern California home sales fall in February. February was really tough for our area too, but for the 6 counties that make up the Southland area there, it says it's the lowest February number of sales in 6 years. So very, very flat. Can't blame that on the weather. Certainly had plenty of great weather around here during those months there. Next one for Southern California. Housing prices surpassed bubble peak in some Southland zip codes. Focusing mostly on the San Gabriel Valley and the west side of Los Angeles there, seeing some record prices being set in certain zip codes there. They're attributing that to a large influx of Asian buyers and then also a lot of money coming in from the tech industry. So again, west side and San Gabriel Valley, they're doing pretty well. Let's focus now on Santa Barbara County, South Coast, what's happened for the first quarter of 2014. As a whole, the stats look pretty bleak. The number of sales down considerably. Number sold down about 24% for the whole area here for the first quarter there. And total sales volume down about 17%. Most areas as a whole, average price, sales price increased 9% to $1,285,000, and median price went up to $853,000. So again, lower sales at higher prices there. Inventory down 11% compared to first quarter of last year there. So again, sort of a mixed bag. Again, easy summary, less sales. Now, Montecito has been much harder hit apparently than the rest of the South Coast here. Total active listings down 22%. The number sold down 30%. We only had 41 sales in all of Montecito during the first quarter of 2014, so very, very quiet. February was the quietest February I've ever seen here. We had 9 closed sales in Montecito, so very anemic there. Total sold volume down 36%, but here's where it gets real tough. The average price in Montecito actually declined, and it declined 9% to $2,879,000. Median price dropped 24% to $2,060,000. So again, most of the other markets saw a decline in volume, but a rise in prices. Montecito saw a decline in volume and a decline in both average and median prices there. So Not that encouraging there. What happened just during the month of March? For the South Coast as a whole here, we had 120 sales, which is about probably 30-35% lower than we've had in the last few Marches there. But the good news is pending sales seem pretty consistent with what we've been having. We have 191 properties in escrow right now, so that's pretty consistent with what we would typically have for this time of the year. So again, it looks pretty good going forward. Looks like we just had a couple slow months there. Now we're back on track. Montecito, fairly normal March. We had 14 closed sales, less than we've had in the last couple of years, but the more promising thing is 42 new listings, very consistent with what we've had the last few years, and 29 pending sales. So again, it looks like we're going to be going forward back into a more normal market, which is what it looks like for the Santa Barbara as a whole. Even though we've had a few fairly rough months in January, February, March, the stats seem to indicate inventory levels are building up again and we're getting more pending sales, so I expect the second quarter to be a much more normal, healthy market going forward there. So that's it.